recording.
No problem.
Thank you.
Right. Loosen up that body. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. As you're doing these, really concentrate on what's going on beneath your feet. So you don't want to kind of be coming off the ground as you look there. You want to plant them into the ground and really be aware of that squeeze underneath you. So, that's perfect. You're good. So if you go so that you feel really rooted and not beyond, and now usually a lot more force in the school. So it starts from the ground upwards. If that bit's wrong, everything else will be wrong. So kind of like settle just a little bit into the ground so you feel like you're almost pushing your roots down, and then you try the exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did it feel different? Yeah. Better? Yeah, that's what we want. That's exactly how we want. 1, 2, and again, just be aware of your feet as you're doing these exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Reaching up. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, shoulder for you. Faster, faster. Go for it, button. Other way. Slowly. Build it up. Build it up. Build it up. Elbows down. Go for it. Just wait for a little to stay out and then okay, so left hand up. 1, 2, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ground is feeling. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. And reach. And step. Good. What? Some nice relaxed arms, moving from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, straighten your back. Start with let the weight drop down from your knees. Take a breath. And then start to introduce me. If you're doing these exercises, you can choose to focus on different things. So you can just be mindless, or you could be mindful. You could be focusing on what's my center doing. Let me focus on my center. You could be focusing on feeling or being grounded, so the connection between your thumb and the floor. What am I doing with my posture? Am I straight or am I kind of slow? Am I straight and feeling more purposeful? Am I just making the shape or am I putting some intention into the exercise? You might vary. But it's good to show that awareness. Because you don't start developing awareness of yourself, what's the chances of developing an awareness of others? The more you become aware of what you do, the more relaxed and centered you can become, the more aware you're going to be of your surroundings, which you do those. So, and if you're that, then you get better information in, and you get better results. Because the more information you get, the more likely it is you have the right answer to what is going on. It's quite big, worth cultivating. Just notice what's going on in your back. Take a moment to breathe. And forward. And back. And forwards and back. And then into the front. Down the right forearm. Down the left. Up to the left. To the right. Left. And with the right. Up with the right. Up with the left. Now you go down the door. So get there, you can have both your feet grounded. The floor on that product. Hanging down, you will sit in the back of your legs. Walk our feet to our hands today. To the loop. Hang. And slowly. So last night, online, we were interviewing a really good practitioner of Daiso Ryu. And I can say that because I've been on the end of his teaching and I know what it felt like. He's technically great. So one of the things he said that I thought was really interesting is you don't want to link with the other person's center. That's the last thing you should do. And I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? That's really interesting because that's the theme of my lesson tomorrow, linking center to center. So there was a real, for a moment, wow, how does that work? He was a great technician saying, don't link to center. And here am I about to teach why it's important to link center to center. And I can't tell you who's right or wrong, but I would say there's a difference in our approach. My approach is not to try and overwhelm somebody else's center. My approach is to link with their center and work with it. So I'm not trying to beat it. I'm not saying my center is stronger than theirs. I'm just saying that I want to work with what they've got, and most of what they've got energy-wise comes from their center. And we find, I find in our training that if we don't have this center-to-center connection, it becomes more difficult to achieve the results that we want. So, Laura, let's bring off the stance. Okay. So, I'm going to open up my center to you guys a little bit. It's just coming off at a bit of an angle, and it really ought to be here if I was to link to her center in a way that I want to. Okay, but I'm going to try and stay relaxed. I'm going to try and stay centered. And I'm going to see what success I have. And I would say that's limited. And now I'm going to link my center with Laura's. So there's a better sense of us rather than me trying to do something to Laura. And when I'm ready and I feel that she's ready, we're going to move together. Now I'm going to make the same shape, but in a way I'm going to turn my center off, because what I'm going to focus on is not Laura, not my center, but my head. So hope this feels the same, relaxed, same sort of grip. Yeah, okay. No, yeah, well, I think she proved the point there that I was weak. Okay, so I think it's actually really important to link center to center, but it's with your mind. It's what's your mindset when somebody attacks you? Is your mindset to not be beaten, or allow yourself to be beaten? I suggest that neither one of those is healthy. What we're looking for is to redress the balance. So if their attack comes because you've done something wrong, to redress the balance, you need to acknowledge it and apologize. If they're attacking you because they're just simply trying to overwhelm you, then you've got to redirect the energy and show them that's not a smart thing to do. Okay, so you two try what I just tried to show. So the first one, you need to be a bit off-center. But by all means, try and link with her in the same way in every other way. No chance. Okay, right. Now, hopefully you're going to get it right. Good. Okay, and now go to your head. Oh. Marvelous. Laura, your turn. There you go. So let's try it with cut a dash. Okay, so again, I'm going to link my center up pretty much with the screen. This is a technique I think I'm pretty good at. I'm not having much impact there. And then immediately, without any effort at all, one finger in fact, immediately it goes because we've got that connection. Over my head, no good, back to my center, other center, off we go. I'm not happy with that. Yeah. No, it's good. Okay.
This,
So let's, as we're doing it now,
yeah.
let's just focus on this center-to-center connection.
The two rods.
Yeah, so I don't want you to be thinking where you're touching. You're just thinking of this.
Ah. If you just hold on.
Yeah,
this is-
so I want to try and avoid any bit where it looks a bit harsh.
Ah.
Yes, I want it to be really silky smooth. I'm just thinking of our connection and how that works. So you better go and then you'll do it. Very nice. Did that feel easier than before?
Yes,
Because
right.
it looked a lot
Yeah,
easier.
but it's obviously better heard. Like, boom.
Yeah, but it didn't look like you had to try at all. It
No.
just looked so easy. Excellent. Now I'll have the other side. The other side.
Yeah, the other side.
Just keeping to the centers.
Just out of interest, the front restrictions, but not connecting center. Why is that? Please?
Why is it important?
Why do you say you go the next?
He said that the center is the strongest point.
Yes.
So why on earth would I attack the strongest point? Which makes perfect sense.
It does.
Okay, so if all your forces are lined up there,
Yeah.
why would I attack it? Because it's going to be the hardest place to attack. I should go to your weak place. And there's sense in that. Right? But I'm not trying to go against your center. I'm trying to work with your center.
Harmonise.
Yes. And
Not-
there's the difference in our thinking, I think. If you're listening to this, Howard, I'm sorry, but it's just my take. I'll tell you when this is. So here I am to Laura's side. So you can say, well, can't do that center thing here because you're at right angles. And indeed, if I'm going to firstly, I'm going to do it. So like my side is facing behind her. And then I'm struggling a bit. But now I'm going to line up and I'm directly beaming into her center as far as I'm concerned. The center to center connection. So it's not so obvious. It's more like the orbit of the sun. You know, the sun is still there and I can still direct my attention to it.
Mentally.
And yeah, so try that. Maybe just turn a little bit. Good. Well, good that it didn't work. Okay, so which direction is she walking in?
That way, so I'm
What does that tell you about you?
I'm not pushing.
Okay, does it suggest you're focusing just on your center to her center?
Yes.
It suggests you're not. Sorry. It suggests that you're thinking about where she's going to fall rather than just connecting with her center and going through the motions.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have a good uke, they reflect back exactly what you're doing with your mind. You know, they shouldn't be making it up. They're heading in the direction they feel you want to go. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So one of these are exercises that you've seen me do before, but I'm just trying to give you kind of a slightly different spin on it. Okay. So very clearly, my center is not pointing at her center in the normal way. I'm facing you guys, so's Laura. Okay. And so if I don't do this right, she's really hard to move. But when I think of our two centers being linked, did you notice I came just a little bit closer to help you do that? It's only really a help. I probably don't need to get there because I can probably do it from there, but it's easier the closer I get. When I link our two centers, so I'm kind of binding them together, then we get the movement we want. So am I attacking the center? No, I'm joining forces with it because we're much stronger together than we are when we try to oppose. Nice. A little bit more belief this time, okay? But you do actually care.
Oh.
There you go. You might think. So you can take a really simple exercise like this, and although there's nothing really technically hard to get to grips with, you're not having to think where your hands and your feet go, you're still letting a bit of you get stuck in the technique rather than just the thought of what's the purpose here. The purpose is just to join our centers. Yeah, just to show you that if she thought I was going forward, I didn't necessarily. Join the center, then we can move together very easily. Try to make Laura come forward. It just doesn't work. A little bit. Okay, so our Nikio, okay, all of you will have experienced painful Nikios at some time, I'm absolutely sure of it. And the focus of, applying the pressure here in most cases. So I've just chosen the wrong guy to do that with, really. And if you notice, my center is just slightly off. This is difficult. So even if I can try and get a bit more gentle, I try to focus on him, it's still not working. I need to be right in front of him. Okay? And I want, there are lots of things I could be thinking, but because of tonight's lesson, I'm just focusing on my center joining up with his. Yep. I can extend you to him and draw a line down, but I'm just going to focus on our centers being linked and his. Very nice. Which one did you prefer? Second one. I bet you did. Here are. Yes, not sure what we are on that. You might have to shuffle possible. What do you have a hand in? So from Aikido here, again, the point of contact, it's very easy to get focused on that. So I'm focusing on her arm and pushing her arm down. I'm very pleased to report that she's not going down for that. Okay, she can feel me trying to do stuff to her, and then, I stop trying to move quick. Worse than a film. Got bounce back. Okay, so now I'm going to link my center to hers and just let's drop our centers together. Okay, so there are other things I could do. We've gone through those and we've gone past. But now my center is going to hitch to her center. So if I drop my center, of course her center is going to drop. All right. Just one other, or go on. Okay, so if I don't link my center to her center, I can learn my center all I like, it just doesn't have an impact on her. It's only when I make this leap of imagination, and I believe they're one, that it will work for me. Okay, well. Really? What did you do differently that time?
I'll put center, center. I was thinking,
And you breathed out.
yes.
Noticeable. Just a little technical point. You really want to be operating here on the joint, or the joint, which I can't show you because it's under the gi. Okay, but the bendy bit, the crease. Which bit? You want to be getting in the crease there, that one there. Yeah. So the way to do this is on the elbow, you get the thumb in there. Okay, so don't just have, if you can see my thumb, I'm doing it wrong. The thumb should be in the crease, and then I roll it. I'm in the crease now, and I roll it. That's not the point I want to make tonight. So we join the hips, we drop the center, she goes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try and make that movement smaller and smaller. And then in the end, we just think down, and there it goes. So you remember Howard saying last night that what he's working on is trying to do techniques where people don't really see the movement. And this is what we're talking about now. People don't see what you're doing, they only feel the results. Are you in the shoulder roll on the other, or are you halfway in between? That looks better.
Whatever. Okay.
That's better. So get yourself comfortable first. You're all comfortable, kind of distracting. But I haven't done anything yet. I've made sure that I'm comfortable. I'm kind of just sit on a bit. Yeah, it's really hard to do. But get myself. I feel this is yeah. Yes. Well done. Go on.
And blinking. Oh, yeah.
Voila. Excellent. Did you ever do that? You did. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Okay, so Yonkyo. Again, this is not so obvious. We've got a center-to-center connection here. Okay, and there is a little nerve in here. So this is one of those horrid techniques to receive, especially if people have tapped that nerve. It's just uncomfortable. So it's better not to do that.
But sometimes we're going to have
Take what I deserve. Now I know you're thinking about his center. You drop it, oh no, drop in his center. So we're not positioned like this. I'm probably pretty much side by side, and there's a bit of a gap between us. I don't really want to be here for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe you can work it out. So I'm a bit apart.
There is a geometrical solution, like a physics mechanical, let's say.
Indeed. Right. Here I feel a bit more comfortable for a start, and I feel safer, so that's going to help me to relax. Now I'm going to link down into his center. So the line I chose to take was to use this as the wiring to plumb into his center, and then to just extend it. I should have hit with it. Yes. It's kind of interesting. I got to his center, then I know I veered to the left. And that's when he stopped. I needed to stay on his center, and then it will work perfectly like that. Okay, let's have a go, everybody. For now.
Yes.
No, it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You might find it helpful just to stand a little sideways on. It's up to you.
Is
Keep
this,
playing with it. Keep playing with it.
it's the mind, not, this is correct, it's the mind has to actually go this way.
You just play. It definitely worked better.
Now, go all the way down,
You have to go all the way
and
to
actually
the ground.
bring that also.
Be nice and that's much. So that looked quite dramatic, but actually there wasn't any pain here. It came on quick, but it wasn't painful.
Oh, that was rushed, yeah.
That was rushed and loosened us up.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you to slow this right down so that you're in control the whole time, driving at 1 mile an hour till I hit the floor. So when you learn to drive, right, probably not a good idea to put your foot on the accelerator and try to drive at 70 miles an hour on day one. Now, I'm not saying he's a baby driver, he's not at all, but
That's the lessons.
when it's not going quite right, then take your foot off the accelerator and focus on what the exercise is. When you get that feel back in your body, you can begin to put your foot on the accelerator. Because you've got the concept, you've got the thing that you want. Marvelous. Okay, what's happening here is only my arms moving. So you're just keeping it within this compound. There's nothing happening to that. Oh yeah, that's what we wanted.
I think tension here, I'm kind of like, my mind wanders here. And it's basically kind of like a link here. Of course, yeah, don't do anything with this.
So you're being the first one to move here. You know my theory on that. I have to be the first one to move. And then you follow. Last one.
Easy on this one.
No, just leave it to the center. Just leave it to the
Easy here.
Nice. No. So it wouldn't be right, we didn't complete the circle and do a Sankyo as well. So again, I'm going to face you guys and try to move her. Not a lot's happening here. Now I know I can really twist her around at great speed and I can twist this wrist more and she would probably move out of pain, but that's not really where I'm at. So now it's center to center. It's a different feeling, isn't it? She's going, now I follow. Yeah. So as long as I'm following, she'll keep moving. If you move first, you're the one that's lost, right? You keep your mind on your partner. On this occasion, her center. And then just stay with her center. She'll never want to come in and hit you. We hope. Moved.
Pushing here. This way.
So that was great proof that when you're not linked to, you're not lined up with the center in some way, you make your life tough.
No pain.
Now, just hold me when you get to that point. So go to my center, so you know you've got them. Right, in some ways, this looks like a stupid place to go, doesn't it? I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to hit you. But she is in range here,
So this
whereas
goes in here.
actually she's not in range there, so that seems like a safe place to go. But she can't control me there, and I can control her.
This just goes down.
That's your
More or
good.
less this. Is
As soon as I think about the punch, I'm on the go, and I never get a chance to deliver. Sorry. So this may look like the stupid place to go, but as long as she's aware, she's safe. That's good. Then just line up the center, make sure you feel like connection. How are you? How are you?
Take care of that.
Okay, then I'm going to do that, and you have to go with Laura. Bloody strong, that's why I was up there. Yes. I want to point you a spot. That tension, that dynamic tension in between us isn't there yet. So it's just you coming in. That's already feeling better.
So, only that, yes, which means you have to move this.
Yeah, okay, but I just say that. Come to there, right? Yeah, I can hit you, but leave it to myself. When you're happy you've got it. Go on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Calm down, isn't it? Get this calm connection.
Sorry. It's not enough. Again, not enough. It's.
You are now. I don't want to go down. You must be saying around you. Now it's working. Okay, so stop there. Can I hit you? Yes, I can. When I attempt to do something.
Too much. And
Keep the connection in about I don't. As soon as I attempt it, you just send me around.
so in terms of kind of pain, squeeze,
I'm not going to send you on the screen for you, but then I do.
It's like a good motivator reason to say, okay, I have to stay with you.
Oh. Wow. Oh, wow. Right, so again, just sticking to some fairly basic techniques. People think it's kind of this hand that's throwing your partner. It's not, you're leading from a center. I want to emphasize what I'm doing with my center. So I want to get into my partner's place if I want to do this technique. The other ways of moving him, other techniques might reveal this. On this occasion, I want to get into my partner's place. So I don't try to move this. I keep that there, and at the last minute, see how he came up onto his toes? We're nicely lined up now. So we've got one line that's easy now to link my center to his center. I can come to here, but if you do that, please be gentle. If you club people's heads, they tend to resist it a bit. So if you just caress them, this is really good. But you can just start with a cuddle, if you like. Okay. Now I'm linking my center to his center. I'm moving around. We go down, up, and now I'm just going to turn my center. It has nothing to do with my arms. It was all to do with using my center connected to his center. Maybe it won't be connected this time. I'm always trying to keep my awareness of him there. Now, it's not about me, it's about him, if anything. It's more about us. It's about my desire to work with him. So there's a strong focus and intention on him in order to create the us. Yeah? So it's not him and me, it is us. But the only way to get us is by me paying attention to him. Does that make sense?
Yes, you're agreeing what we give you a birth.
Yeah, I'm trying to feel where he's at and to move with him. Okay? Just imagine he was working on an artificial limb. Okay? His movement's going to be very different to the Nick we know right now. And I'm going to have to adjust my pace to keep him with me at all times. If he's racing me like a banshee, again, I have to adjust to what's going on. So you don't make any assumptions about what he's going to give me in this particular moment. We're just looking to stay connected to what's there. Yeah? Okay, so I'll go what you begin. Okay. Okay, so just stop. Okay, so do I look uncomfortable?
No, you look more comfortable.
Okay, so what's the one thing that I did that you're missing at the moment? Stretch. Yeah, just this turning of the wrist has brought me up onto my toes, and now you've got this dynamic tension between us. Okay, I could let go, but that would not be smart.
No.
I need to hold on here to protect myself. But I'm off balance, so I want to come forward to regain my balance. Now, you drop it down, drop it. Rise it up, and down, stay with me, and turn, stay closer, and turn from your center. Yes. So this is like,
A snake in a tree.
yeah, it is a bit like a snake up a tree, but it's also what conjurers and magicians do. They divert your attention with the thing that's doing lots of movement. Meantime, they're doing stuff elsewhere with their body, which means you miss the trick. So by keeping my attention on his hand and its potential to hit me, I'm not really aware of what he's doing with his center until it's too late. And frankly, if I put my attention there, there's nothing I can do. Yeah. So, relax. Okay, so I don't want to be like this. So can you push my arm to the side? Yes. You do that. So I want to stay, I want to stretch you, but I want to be relaxed.
I'm going.
Can you still do it?
Oh, yes.
Can you push it? Right, so I'm kind of there.
Yeah,
You can feel that when you let go, I'm there. As long as you're, yeah, we're right on the borderline. I can go either way. If they go on there, stay with me and I'll lead you.
Oh, there he is. And I think
whatever I'm going to do now. That's just a bit ahead, okay? Right on the border. I want to feel potential for me to come in.
Yeah.
But, you know, in order to keep you out, I've got to be there, haven't I? Well, if that's what you're leaving. You know, you're different. Are you ready?
Then this.
Yes.
Enough.
1, 2.
Good. Okay, he's ready for you now.
Just keep the same.
So you're
And I'm
not
going.
working in
First I was down, and then I went.
Yeah, okay.
First.
Yeah.
So.
Right to your side.
Yeah.
That's
So
back
go again.
Yeah.
I saw you go again. I'm going.
Potential that you could be attacked. I don't really move that. I'm actually going to follow this line initially. When I move it, then I can steer it. Take the line. That's it. Okay. You tried to manhandle me. Yeah. It doesn't work. Not work some. Right. So no point in any of our techniques do we want to feel like we're doing muscle. Okay. So at the moment, I'm aware of her, but I hope she's also aware of me. So, you know, if I wanted to come in, I let that happen, but I created a balance between us at this point. And if she lets go, I'm in, right? So she knows I'm there, so she needs to hold on now. Okay, so I'm not really going to move that until I'm in, and then I want to follow this line. I don't want to change the line. I want to follow it so I can move my fingers. Now she begins to move, and now the whole thing gets going. If I try to do stuff with my arm, it just doesn't work. The whole time I'm trying to link up. Once I've created the movement, now we've got something we can work with. Okay, let's go. That's better. Nice. Yeah.
So
Very good.
Yeah.
as Ruben having
No, but you would not lift. That's the only thing. Otherwise, you got out to that point. So down there, and once you decide to go down, and you switch to down.
keep grounded, just keep.
Yeah, yeah. Never go once you make the step and your center drops, never go up again. And hold it like going like this. Keep it like this.
I'll call for it.
Yeah. But never go up again. Nice. That was really good.
Stop. It's coming to the shoulder. Okay? If I didn't do anything, you would do.
Yeah.
So basically, Nick's saying, you know, he's got this potential, and I need to be aware of that. If I'm too busy thinking about this hand, then I've got trouble. So my first movement needs to be to make him think twice before hitting me, and then I can come to the end of this and shift. Okay, so fine, I've solved the problem. If I think about where he's connected, this is more difficult.
Yeah.
Kind of forgotten about him. Okay. There's still strong center-to-center connection here. Well, now we've got this nice parallel trapezium type relationship where we're lined up. But my center-to-center, I'm still very aware of him and his potential. You might miss that a little bit on the other side. So, exactly. So, 1, 2. At this point, he went to strike me. He was going to hit me there. And I needed, without that awareness, I needed to take him away from my center to stop that. Yep, so, if you stop being engaged with your client and maintaining that relationship, your partner should take advantage. Doesn't mean to say they punch your lights out, but they should make you aware that you could have had your lights punched out. Okay, so at all times, you're aware. So here, if he gains his balance and I stand too long, then he can hit me. Now it's fine if he's being patient with me as I try to learn the move. He might show that he could hit me, and then he'll just be waiting. He'll say, okay, carry on with the technique. And can I get it like that? What am I going to do? Oh yeah, link our centers. And I like to go down. All right, yes, back on track. Thank God for that. Okay, so there are moments where just be aware of who you're practicing with and at what level you should be engaging. But he's quite at liberty to test them. Oh, yes. Again, if I am thinking about this, nothing happens. My center is going through this. This movement is connected to him, so of course he moves because they're connected. Okay,
Hold down that one.
okay, so here you allow them to engage like that. Look down, straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up. Okay. Okay. Boom. Now, what he's doing is he's coming on this line on the outside of me. So I was down like this. But as I get to here, and he moves my arm, that doesn't affect my balance at all. So I'm not going down. Yes. He's still on me. Ah, now my balance is gone. Yes. Then the throw becomes very easy. He's maintaining that relationship with my center, whereas when he's orbiting around me effectively on an energetic level, it didn't work.
It's lost of silence.
Yeah. Balance, I think any balance I've taken here. In fact, when we get to here, and I'll try to go down there. Down. Now you've got to touch this. I've got a chance to make this. Okay, so now I'm going to lean back up with my center. Yes. Yeah, if I'm staring back at you like this, it's gone wrong. Oh, what's it taking my balance? Well, give me back. Oh, sorry. Good improvisation, sorry. It was good. So I think at this point,
Yeah, no, it's actually four, but again,
I can tell you, the pain was probably, but no.
do this,
Find
and
out
then
which
try
one.
to spiral in.
Ah, yes.
That was good. That was really good. I was felt compressed, like a liquid, but without actually doing the. Up and punch.
No, I like to watch. Change the technique. Something going on at that end.
There's an attempt for a strike.
Adapt and overcome, right?
Supplement. Right, so that is cut. It's really quite, it's not 100% different from showman striking, how it looks. It's quite close to his body. The only rotation is a little bit of his hips, really.
So say a position on the foot that basically changes things.
Yeah, so this makes it quite a bit tougher than you often see.
But that's technically what's supposed to be.
Technically, yeah, you should be making it tougher, not easier for me. Absolutely. So as he comes in, I need to come in. Yes, hold your arm there. Okay. Lots of power there.
Yes.
Nice and centered. I cannot push that down. Now I'm going to rest it. I'm going to think about it set. Okay, so I want him to be aware of this. I don't want him to be aware of that. So that wouldn't really bring any concerns to him. I've let the pressure off. He knows he's got room for maneuver. Yes. But there, see, oh, I could be in trouble now. If I go to strength, immediately there comes the hold. Boom. Got the tension, now the center. That also moves the mind a little bit. It makes it easy because, you know, suddenly from him being the threat, here's the threat. You see how that's done to his balance. So then it becomes so much easier. So coming a little slower. Okay, so I'm in. Here's the problem. He's focused on that. Center to center. Boom. And down. So that's where my mind's at. A lot of the technique is not about the shape that you're seeing, it's about the shape that you're not seeing, the relationships that I'm creating, and that these guys creating and practicing. That's what making this effective. Okay, make sense? Okay, I'm going to move. Okay, so it's a little bit more. You're saying, here it is. Come and get it. Oh. That's a little bit horsey.
In 1, 2.
You know what you're doing.
Looks like I have to break this again to anybody's elbows.
That's all.
If I watch better. Because it then is second one.
Definitely the other hand is. Okay, now. So you have to slide in there, just keep it
No,
the
way there. Sorry.
that moves. So move that just the way.
That's effortless.
Let Francis do the hard part. Yes, come in like that.
No.
No, forget that now. Sentences.
Just go to the short one. Nothing else. No tweezers.
So as an exercise, okay, I'm going to ask Laura just to be thinking of entering with her center and joining with my center, and let the rest just take care of itself. Let the rest take care of itself, remember? When you take your mind off the technique, suddenly it works. Yeah. When you're thinking about the technique, it just goes to pot. Just relax. Yep. These are techniques. As soon as I think I have to get Laura to the ground, I just relax. It's still about us. It's still about that sense of connection. No, fine. I can relax all my life. I don't think really relax. But there's nothing of me that's really going to Laura beyond that physical connection. My mind and my body have to go with her. Ah, now we can work together. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ah. So, if you recall, over the last year and a half, we had a session with Tunag, which was about yin and yang. Okay, so they're opposites of the same thing, if you like. You can't have one without the other. Okay. He's the yang in this. He's creating the fire. So, what do you do to put out the fire?
Extinguish.
With water. Does fire put out fire?
No.
Makes a bigger fire, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, selective fire. Yes, do not use water.
Okay, so
He's gone.
he's coming with physical force. If I meet it with physical force, we have still have a conflagration. Okay, but if I come with a bucket of water, that's the fire out. Yeah. So I know that if I meet, just if I use different language, if I meet muscle with muscle, fastest, strongest, quickest, most stupid, one will lose, one will win. There will be a winner and a loser. Okay?
But these both losers can hit at the same time, probably.
That could be. Okay. That mustn't be my mindset. Mine is to say, how do we get back into balance? Once we're back in balance, situation over. Until either I or he breaks the balance again. But as soon as you create that energy which breaks the balance, you create the force of your own destruction, in effect. Yep. So we have to be thinking about, if he's giving, I'm receiving. If he needs to receive, I'm going to give. Yep. So, when I'm applying a technique, it's not me applying a technique to him. It's me giving energy to his center to strengthen him. To show him the error of his ways and make him a nicer and better person. Ultimately,
Different mindset. Both.
yeah, if I just crush his wrist because I can, what's he going to learn from that? That I'm stronger than him, and more powerful than him. You shouldn't attack people that are stronger than you, and more powerful.
Or even though try perhaps next time to attack 100 and get you
Right,
next
and
time.
maybe come with 2 or 3 people instead of just one. But when he knows he could have been crushed, but I let him off, I let him have another chance, he thinks, you know what? Maybe not such a good idea. He could have killed him, but he chose not to. Why? You created a completely different relationship. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to hug him. So the idea is in slow motion, he's coming to tap me. All that stuff. See, okay, and as you like, I embrace this. I think you have a dance there just hold it was literally like I said, oh, I love it. It's that sort of feeling, it's that sort of embrace.
It's a technique called Aikido.
So I come in, yes, hello. I'll have some of that. Of course I want that hug. Thank you. That's a different mindset, right? But there's a real coming together. When you come together, you stop being me and you. You're an us for a moment. Yeah? But you have to have that mindset that you want the us, even when the going gets tough. Yep. Okay. I'll have a go with things. Okay, so now there. That's nice. Yeah. So take a bit more than that attention. In the way. Well,
As you take the
no,
step,
it should be very
use
easy.
that. Yes.
Just not. Yeah. By the force. From work, can't you? Yeah, but I can resist quite well.
Oh, yeah, we should have that.
So now just give me the weight of the arm. Now I'm on all of the buttons of the arm. Yes. You went up first. Yeah.
Right, so
You
I'm
go
giving
up.
tension.
And
so
I
I'm
follow
like,
it.
and trying to
Follow the not coming
take it from
down.
my arms. So like paddle.
You have to glide. So when I hug you, I don't go. Unless I'm weird. I come
This time,
straight towards you.
This time,
Naturally.
Correct, correct, stop.
Try on his foot as well. That's brutal.
yes, you will go down.
So last 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I learned that thing's 19 stone. 19 stone. That's a lot of kilos. What's in kilos, you know?
120.
120 kilos, right? I'm about 75 kilos. There is no way I can pick him up bodily. But I can pick his mind up. Yes! Find a way. Yeah, I've said this before. But if you find a place in the technique where you made a mistake, you can get up and walk away and curse yourself, or you can try and put it right. And you'll learn more by putting it right.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yes, that's what we're going to do. So he's coming from my center. So here, I want to. Mikey, that was first. I give him a target. And that's exactly it. If he attacks and I don't defend, he should show me how open I was. If I make a mistake, he could just kill me, or he could just show me I made a mistake. So I want to open up. And just not be there. Something else I get then. So I glide across the front. I'm not doing anything in my hands at this point. I just make sure that I'm not there. Now hold your posture. But come through slowly and well, he's missed. What did he do next? Why has he done that? So that he can attack again, right? Keep your hand out there. Out there.
That's okay.
Yeah. So he wouldn't hold it there because now he's slightly in tension. It's very easy for me to move him if I had done something right, okay? But from here, it's a much tougher proposition. He's really back in the center and nicely balanced. So not only does he come back into balance? And now he's ready to attack again. But also he's saving himself from potentially, if I've been good enough, taking advantage of being there. But I don't want him to have to pull back. So I blend with the energy. Yes, that's the way you want to go. So before he's had time to go, oh dear, I'm in trouble, I need to get back into center, I've linked with this and added to it. And I've brought him to my center. And again, I'm very aware of him and where he wants to go now. Okay. If it's all about me and where I want to go, I've opened myself up again. But I know I've got him teetering on the edge here, and I want to keep him teetering on the edge. And then, in the final moments, as he comes round, there's his opportunity again. Right? And this is the point I say, yes, come. Yep. Because that inward movement is what takes him down to the ground. Now we could do more brutal form, but I think I've broken here. I could do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been rich.
I might take him over, but he can hit me for a centre. And if he's really strong, he might hold it long enough for me not to throw him at all and to give me a pass. Plus the fact that when I do it, it's quite likely I'll hurt him. This don't like going that way very much. But I know you can take a penny from this if you're trained to, but I think it's purer to allow him to create the fall. So the more he comes forward, the more the throw happens. If he stays out there halfway, doesn't happen. Only if he comes. Only if he comes. So he is the seed of his own destruction, not me. I shouldn't be adding to his misery.
Which is all getting away from you.
Yeah. Okay. But we weren't doing. Oh, we will do that technique to start.
The seed of destruction.
I had another thought in my mind. I moved on somehow. Okay, so I'm going in. Whoa. Here's the weather. Wait. Oh, bring lights. It's fast.
Keep it this way, like.
So I think if you're a skillful fighter, you hide your intentions until the last minute. So nothing's really happening until it does. If I'm going like that, he can see that from miles away. What he has to sense is he's coming into my space. I'm now in danger. I better get out of the way. Yes. It's looking for this first, and it's going to show problematic. You lose strength.
Yeah. I mean, help with the breath.
Just nice. Yes, thank you. Stay with it. Let's have 2 or 3 effortless ones, please. We'll let you back into the full form. Keep that feeling. He didn't have hold of me in a traditional way there at all, but he followed the principle through, and it was fine.
Get the contact, really.
Yes.
Yeah, then come up, then stop.
Excited.
All is out.
Just gonna wait a fraction of a longer moment for the threat to reveal itself again. Yes, I come slower.
Yeah.
Very nice. To let that speed up.
Yeah.
This should come at the same speed that I'm doing the rest of the thing, otherwise it's falsifying.
Yeah, because you know that like you can only go.
Yeah, you should go blending me. Yes.
And just let it fast enough, just to see the,
Exactly what I was going to do. Really coming it back.
on the side.
Right. Sorry. Sorry. So at the moment, you can see me here to here. That's the place when I go down. Not when I'm looking at the side of his cheek. I need to be there. I thought it was interesting also last night that Howard said, you need to be looking at your partner. And then Steve came back with this question about, well, that's no good for me, I can't see, so, you know, I don't really believe that. I don't think you need to look at your partner. But what it is he's starting off a chain of events through the sense of sight. If I don't have it, I can't use that, I've got to do it in other ways. But what I'm trying to do is create a connection between us. Quite good, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'm looking to stay with him the whole time. The way that technique is point in time. I'm not looking at the potential threat, which I think is here, because that's opening up to that threat. He's the threat, not the knife, the sword, the punch, the kick, the bite, the headbutt, whatever it might be. It's the intention that this bloke brings with him.
Could you say that we should be more aware of the causes rather than the effect? The punch is just an effect of what I'm trying to do.
Yes.
In that respect.
His action is a result of his desire to hit me, whether that's through fear or anger or greed or whatever the reason is, to show off to his mates. It's coming from inside of him and it results in the action that comes out of his body. That links to what Howard was saying about his keys and how to stare at you and you should fall on the floor. No, we have to involve our body in this, okay? It's the way we channel this energy and control situations. It's not something ethereal. I am not magic in any way. You guys can do all of this. You can and you do it in everyday situations all the time. But what you have to be able to do is to be into situations of stress and make it work for you then. To still be at your best, to still be able to make a connection when everything is screaming at you, the last thing you want is that connection. Yeah, it's not an easy practice. It's not an easy practice. That's why we put you under stress on the mat. Because if you can deal with stress on the mat, you've got a chance of dealing with stress off. Okay. Okay, suggestion, what do I do in the last few minutes? If he doesn't, that's the one. Okay, or Burwell Aikido. Yes. Let you play with it. Okay, fair enough. So just go a little bit across and we'll make this song. Why not attack you? Are we mustn't? Nice stop.
Not but not there.
Really?
I said, no, I got here because you have to be.
That's how about you? You don't go halfway outside. Don't force me.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, nice. Very sleepy, that was. Okay.
Thank you.
So it's find some space in the middle. Okay. 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 All right, so left and right. Time to settle down. Feel the connection with the mat. The gravity working through you. And holding you from that. Notice as you use your attention to notice what's happening in your body. The muscles get softer. You become more relaxed. The breathing gets longer. You notice it. You notice what's going on within. And you notice what's going on within. While there's plenty of space between us, and you just put your awareness out to the other bodies in the room. No, they're there. Embrace that connection between us. If you want to listen to making us individuals. You should feel stronger, lighter, more resilient, more flexible. Place where you have full potential. Right now, the best likely to be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. Not feeling soft, creative power. If we can bow out to our assembled audience. Indeed, I always say, it would be the same. So, Joe, you're the only one left. Oh no, apart from Steve. Any thoughts?
Yes, a lot, and I write you. So, but yeah, I really appreciate everything. And I was almost writing here. I appreciate watching Nico shifting from the fast driver to the slow driver. That was very nice.
You know what these Mediterranean drivers are like? They're crazy, so you have to slow them down.
Yeah. Thank you, Nico. It was very good.
All right, I look forward to seeing you later, maybe.
Bye.
Bye.
Down to one of the big islands, there's a taxi door.